What's up, friend? Hector here from StrongestTech.com with this week's Movement Monday for the week. Today we're going to be closing out the How to Improve Your Squat series for our Mobility Monday segments. So last couple of weeks we talked about breathing. We got you started on your back, holding your big toes, trying to see if you had the required mobility to start to move forward on your squat. And if you don't, you're going to kind of stick to that first episode, that first part, and really kind of own that position. Then, as you progress forward, we address the hips one hip at a time from the tall sit position, and that was gently prying at your hip with your elbow, opening the hip, and then eventually getting your sit bones to the ground. Today, as we close it out, we're going to address the ankles and the toes, really important. Okay, so we're going to address the toes, we're going to address the ankles while we address the hips too. And I like to focus on that position from essentially this like half kneeling lunge, this figure forward lunge position, just like this. So my hips are at about a 90-degree angle, and so what's happening here is I'm addressing the dorsiflexion, the ability for me to flex my toes towards my knee. I'm addressing that on this side, but I'm also addressing the plantar flexion, my ability to point my toes and completely relax my ankle on this side. So I'm addressing both actions of my ankle here, plantar and dorsiflexion. Okay. Now what we're going to do today, and again, it looks like I'm in a squat, right? I've got one leg down. This leg is down here, but if I plop this leg up, I'm essentially in a squat. So now we're kind of addressing both legs, both hips independently. Okay, so what we're going to do to work the toes is all we're going to do here is bring our hands to the ground, just like this, and you're going to bring your knee to the ground. Okay, so it's going to look like you're like in a posterior rock position, but I'm really working on my toes, and I'm just going to sit back again. Hands to the ground, bring your toes to the ground, and come back. Okay, you can also pry at the hips again, just like we did with the last episode. Come down, pry, come back down. Okay, one more time. Here, down, and come back. Okay, then you'll simply just switch sides. Okay, so you'll switch, sit on your butt, switch your legs, and come up. Okay. Now you're in this position on the other side, addressing this ankle and this ankle pointed away from you. Okay? Chest up, hands to the ground, drop your toes, drop your knee down, keeping your toes tucked, and push down. Keep your chest up. Again, knee to the ground, come back, chest up. Okay, and I recommend going through this probably like at least 5 to 10 times, or until you feel like you're starting to move better. And then you just start to switch and start to alternate. So do like 10 on one side, switch 10 on the other side. That'd be one set, and you can go through this like anywhere from 3 to 5 total sets. As you begin to get advanced with this, something that you can play around with is you're essentially going to be in the squat position, and you're going to basically fold forward to your knees. This can be a little challenging, so like ease into something like this, but essentially you'll be flat into your squat, okay, and then you're going to shift your knees forward, and you're going to drop your knees just like this. This is going to really put a lot of stress, big stretch in your toes. And then to come back, you shift your hips back, and then you kind of pry, find that comfortable position again. Okay, then you just shift your knees forward again, knees to the ground, and then you just sit, and you're going to rock back up, and you're going to find your squat position. Okay, pretty simple. All right, so addressing the ankles, addressing the toes, and addressing the hips at the same time by being able to sit here in this kneeling lunge, this figure four kneeling lunge position. So this comes from a movement system that I teach with called Ground Force Method, founded by Peter Lakatosh. He's a master strong first instructor, and he came up with this whole entire movement system. And this is one of the postures from that system called Ground Force Method. It's called a figure 4. And so essentially you're just here in this position and addressing one ankle at a time. So 3 to 5 repetitions per side, switch sides, 3 to 5 repetitions, and you can flow through that like 3 to 5 times. And that's going to address the toes, it's going to work on the ankles, and it's going to work on the hips. 3 crucial parts to having a pretty good squat, okay? And then run through all 3 parts of this series. First part, start with your breathing, laying on your back, grabbing your big toes, and I would breathe in that position for about 5 minutes. From there, you'll progress to mobilizing, prying at the hip from the tall sit position, and then you'll progress to this kneeling lunge position where you're addressing plantar and dorsiflexion, rocking forward, really stretching and addressing the toes, and just take your time with it. And then at the end of the series, you can test your goblet squat by starting from the bottom, okay? Bring the feet up, curl the bell to the chest, and just use this as like a checklist, kind of like a test retest. How comfortably can you sit in the hole, you know, right, with your butt pretty much all the way between your feet? How comfortably can you sit there without any discomfort or without feeling like you know, not like muscular skeletal pain, but like, oh, this is just really stretching my hips? Because that squat essentially is a resting position. We should be able to rest in that position for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We should be able to rest there like without any problems, and that's what you want to get to, because when you learn to improve your squat, everything else is just going to get better. Your swings, your deadlifts, your pressing, just vitality, just the way that you feel and the way that you move, having that access in the hips, having that freedom in your hips and in your ankles, there's nothing like it, right? So hopefully you liked this little movement series on how to improve your squat. If you have any questions, you have any comments, leave something in the comment section below. And if you're enjoying these videos, be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that's all I got for you guys this week. I'm Hector with StrongestHec.com with this week's Movement Monday for the week.